Beautiful day to play the beautiful game here in Mount Verde, just outside of Orlando. Could be a magical day for one of these two teams. OCB looking for their first win of the season, and Tormenta looking to stay undefeated. Welcome onto the campus of Mount Verde Academy, everybody. I'm Bruce Silverman, and OCB, as we just said, has been struggling to start the season. Youth has been what they have brought to the pitch, and now experience has come to Orlando. The reinforcements are here. Simas and D'Souza will be not only dressed but starting today for Coach Fernando. And on the other side, there is the experience, there is the knowledge, there is the talent, and there is great defense on this Tormenta club. And they have done a great job of keeping their opponents off the board. They've got 2 wins and a draw. You see those 2 clean sheets right there. So this matchup is youth against experience. Top of the table versus bottom of the table. Will it stay that way in USL League One action? There's only one way to find out, and that's to come back and watch this one. OCB Tormenta next on ESPN+. Welcome onto the campus of Mount Verde Academy, presented by Orlando Health. OCB coming into this game, no wins, 2 losses, no draws. Tormenta comes in with 2 wins and a draw. They played more games than anybody else, sitting on top of the table. OCB with a lot of new faces, including their 3rd keeper in as many games. Bagru, Tablante, and D'Souza up top. Diouf, Serginho, Osei, Wusu in the middle. Williams, Mendoza, Simeon, and Simas will make up the back line. And that starting 11 was also presented by Orlando Health. For Tormenta, a lot of experience on this club. Jara in the pipes. Morel up top, played for the Tampa Bay Rowdies for the last 2 seasons before coming over here to Tormenta. He had 3 goals and 3 assists in 2 seasons with the Rowdies. Wells, Coutinho, Benalis, and you see just how much experience there is. Phelps, Eckenrode, Antley, and Gomez on that back line. And you see the boys in purple. This is a young team. It is an inexperienced team, mostly made up of high school students who have made their professional debut in just the last few weeks. Coach Fernando satisfied with the way that his team is progressing. The foundation of this academy team is to build through the academy, get the experience, hoping that the wins will come. Fernando told me earlier in the week that with the wins will come a lot of motivation, and Orlando City will start us up. So dig, if you will, a picture of the boys in purple going from left to right on your screen. The visitors will go from right to left, and it will be Bagru starting us off in the middle. Captains for today, Lars Eckenrode, the back line center defender for Tormenta. And the man with the badge today is Osewusu for the home team. Third home game in a row for the Baby Lions. And they'll have a fourth next week against Madison. And Seamus already making his presence felt. Inserted into the lineup. 5'7", 165, 21 years old, from Brazil. And that right fullback was showing what he can do. Simeon over for Mendoza. And then back to Diouf. Going all the way back to Sajay. Simeon for Seamus. One touching it down the pitch, knocked out of play by Tormenta. And the throw by Leo Simas. And he gets it back, has to go backwards to Simeon, getting his third start of the season. Mendoza getting into the action. Surveying his options over to Serginho, and Serginho will go back to Sade. Now Simeon for Seamus. Seamus going down the pitch, but finds the head of Phelps. D'Souza, and he's taken down. Play continues. Osewusu was trying to center, that's sent out of play. And Thiago D'Souza, the 20-year-old from Brazil, in his first action in the first 2 minutes of his OCB career. Eckenrode is in the book in the second minute for that infraction. That makes things interesting for Tormenta, and we get to take another look at how it went down. D'Souza slowed down momentarily by Phelps, but then knocked to the ground by Eckenrode as Osewusu was trying to get it there. And here's the corner. They've gone short all season long. Diouf goes short again. Tablante, he centers. Serginho. Diouf high into the box, nobody home. Intended for Bagru. Staying on it, here's Osewusu. Serginho into the box, intended for D'Souza, and that's knocked away. Tormenta dodging a bullet. Great defense. Here comes Morel, sending it down the pitch, and Sade will pick it up. So the 21-year-old Brazilian is the third keeper in as many games for OCB. Serginho, the 19-year-old from Brazil. For Diouf, the 19-year-old. Seamus goes forward. Here's Bagru looking for reinforcements. Lays it off Serginho for Osewusu. Osewusu will bring it down the pitch. Lays off for the Brazilian. Out wide for Tablante. Tablante will try to bring it into the middle. Good ball movement, but stolen away by Tormenta. And Antley just showing how calm, cool, and collected he can be. But right back on it, Tablante. 4th minute of action. Already had a yellow card to Eckenrode in the second. Leo Simas into the corner, nutmegs Phelps. But Tormenta showing how strong that defense is. Gomez sliding it over for Michelito. And now out wide as Dennis will bring it up the pitch. Dennis switching sides. Nick Wells can't hold on to it. And there'll be a throw-in coming up for OCB right in front, actually just to the left of their bench. Rain fell about an hour ago, so the pitch is in the type of position that most players like to have, a slick pitch, and they've got one right now. It won't last that long as the sun is out and strong here, 80-plus degrees outside of Orlando. That ball will go out of play, and D'Souza was the last man near it for Orlando City, but it will be a throw as Seamus goes backwards for Simeon, who goes back to Sade. And you see the patience. Orlando City B has lost their first 2 games of the season, but in the first half of play, they played as well, if not better, than their opponent. The difference was when they got to the second half, they played a man down in both of those matches. So at equal strength, OCB has hung with the more experienced, older players. They have been a little reckless at times with their tackles. Might have just been more of an issue of not being used to the speed of the game as Seamus goes down the pitch. Lays off for D'Souza. D'Souza with 3 white kits around him. Dribbles out of trouble. Sends it backwards. Serginho. So the Brazilians playing catch, and now Simeon, the Mount Verde native, getting in the action. Serginho sending it forward over the top, looking for DeBlante, getting tangled up with Dennis, and that eventually goes out of play. And Jara will kick this one away. We'll go back to the earlier collision, and you see Leo Simas sent high in the air. And now Tormenta, who has been basically on their heels through the first 7 minutes of play, sending it forward. Coutinho with Simeon on him, laying off. Morel trying to blast through the box, and a save by the Brazilian. Morel, who scored the first goal ever in USL League One play, is denied in the 7th. Tablante, and that flag is up. We'll get another look at the way that Morel was trying to get Tormenta on the board. Not one of the strongest left foots that you'll see from him. And Sade is able to make the save. The aggressive team so far in this match has been Orlando City B, but here's Wells into the box, sliding it through and cleared out. But that pass is on frame and on target. Maybe it is a different game here in the 8th minute. Throw in by Wells. Georgia Southern native, so very used to playing in Statesboro, Georgia. Get a look at the brain trust of OCB, Fernando. And that ball is given up, and Bagru will try to battle it back in a tie-up with Gomez. And Gomez, in his first year with Tormenta, is able to draw the whistle. Phelps, and he loses the handle, and Serginho well off the mark. And so Jara will start us back up. 6'2", 182 out of Wingate University. Division II national champs, the alma mater of our director and producer, Ryan Rose. Charlotte, North Carolina, as Jara will kick this one away, and Pablo showing the strength of that right leg. And a foot race between numbers 14 and Morel wins that one over Mendoza. And Wilfred Williams has to come over and help. Williams, 5'6", 145, 22 years old, out of Johnson City, Tennessee. Chade moving it forward. Leo on the wing, gets around Wells. Sees what he likes down the line. Bagru battling with Echenrode. And Antley sending it forward for Dennis. Dennis looking for some clearance. Pestered and knocked from behind here in the 10th minute. And we'll see if referee Kordic goes to his pocket, and Echenrode coming over and pleading his case for a card. But Madzid Kordic says, nope, not going to have any of that. Quick start up as Dennis is back on his feet. Wells sliding it forward. And now out wide, Morrell will chase down, keep it in play. Just in front of the AR. Sending it into the box, knocked away by Mendoza. Tablante was trying to keep it in play, and it will belong to Tormenta. Quick throw goes backwards. Antley will go back once again. Echenrode. Phelps. Phelps taking his time. Long distance pass is knocked away. Osewusu picks up the loose ball. Diouf goes backwards to Mendoza. Simeon. Simas pulls up the brakes. He'll play catch. Mendoza back into the action. Diouf, who wore the captain's badge in the first 2 games, directing traffic, and it goes all the way back to Khade. Leo trying to play catch. D'Souza showing some speed, lays off. Osewusu, who's been switching sides. D'Souza back to Osewusu. Diouf pulls up the brakes. And here's Simas getting some pressure. Sweet ball movement back to his fellow Brazilian. Then out wide. D'Souza tangled up with Wells. Wells wins that battle, picks his pocket. Comes right back. And a little whistle on the shove. And once again in this game, just like the previous 2 games, OCB showing that they can hang with the bigger, more experienced players as Echenrode puts on his shoes. And the captain still tying the laces. As Jara will take his time in kicking this one away. 13th minute, scoreless. We've had 1 yellow card, and that belonged to the captain for Tormenta, Echenrode, who played his college ball at UNC Wilmington, his 2nd year here in Statesboro. And that goes over the head of everybody. Morrell will chase it down. OCB comes up with it. And now Simeon for Simas, and the Brazilian gets it punched away by Wells. So a throw-in coming up for Simas. He'll go backwards. Simeon. Simas. Mendoza. Now that is Serginho who switches sides past Mendoza. It will be Wilfred Williams getting his first action of the season. And OCB will take their time, building from the back. Simas saw he had an option to go long. And look at D'Souza. And D'Souza gave up on the play. You got to play to the whistle here in the United States. Phelps, Echenrode, and they'll play catch. Tormenta with that 3-man back line. Coach Fernando talked about that earlier in the week, said we know that they're talented. We know that they're strong, even with the 3. Here's Williams showing some speed, showing some strength into the box, and Jara got there before Bagru could and shut down that opportunity. D'Souza coming up, playing some defense Serginho put it high in the air. Injured player down is Vinales. But OCB doing a great job of controlling the pace of play. If they can stay within themselves, play some defense, this could be a game in which they pick up their first points of 2019. Player down is Serginho. You saw him collide when he put the ball high in the air down the pitch, and still down here in the 16th minute. And he'll be attended to. As everybody will get a hydration break here in the 16th minute. OCB going toe-to-toe with this more experienced Tormenta side, sitting at top of the table with 7 points in League One action. A year ago they were in League Two. And the Brazilian is up 5'7", 150, 19 years old. Getting the pat on the back from Diouf, 19 years old as well, from Senegal. And this is the way that it happened. Collided with Vinales. Holding his back, but looks like he should be able to go, showing the trainer where he feels it. So we'll see how quickly he gets back into this match as he gets past the touchline. And Tormenta will break the huddle here in the 17th minute, and Serginho will check back in here in a moment. Everyone's gotten a beverage. I was able to get a beverage, and we're about to start things back up. And it will be a throw-in for Coutinho. And Serginho is back on, a little hobbled, but rubbing is racing. So in the 18th minute, we are scoreless. Tormenta with one shot on frame. That was, we've got another stoppage of play. Morel had one shot on Sade. And it looks like Serginho is still having a difficult time, so might bring on our first substitution of the day, and could be Austin Amir, 6'1", 160, the 19-year-old out of Tampa. As you can see, Serginho is completely gassed after that collision. And that's disappointing for this young man, because he has had really 2 outstanding games so far for the Baby Lions. And it is going to be Austin Amir who will come in. So Amir comes in the 19th minute for Serginho. Austin Amir. So the throw from Dennis will go backwards, and OCB will start us back up. Difficulty in that 18-minute substitution for number 18 is that Coach Fernando had to go to his bench early in this match. Changes things a little bit down the road in terms of strategy and technical changes as Austin gets his first touches of the game. Mendez for Williams, and they'll play catch on that back line. And they'll get the Brazilian keeper involved. So one Brazilian comes off for a Tampa native, Osewusu for Amir. Good ball movement, switching sides. Williams gets into the action, sends it down the line. Looking for Ablante. Ablante trying to get it from Antley, and Antley is able to turn on it, put it out of play. long throw by Antley, 50-50. Out of play, it should belong to Orlando City. And here's Tormenta. Williams on the back pocket of Coutinho, and that will go all the way back to the keeper. Gives me an opportunity to tell you tonight's game is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Orlando Health. Orlando Health is proud to be the official medical team of Orlando City Soccer Club. From orthopedics and sports medicine to virtually every medical specialty, Orlando Health has the physicians throughout Central Florida to provide the care you need when you need it. Choose Orlando Health. Seamus going over the top, a little too heavy for D'Souza. Osewusu trying to get his feet on the ball, but was ridden off by Gomez. D'Souza coming over saying hello, but then knocked away. Opportunity for Tormenta as Micheletto. He gets it back, trying to dribble through, and Seamus sends him down to the turf in a set-piece opportunity. Coming up is Tormenta went quickly. And the referee let the play continue. So Tormenta trying to take advantage of a quick restart. And you get a look at the foul as Seamus just kind of rubbed Micheletto. And Micheletto went to the turf, and they didn't take the time to set it up, and we stay scoreless, 22nd minute. D'Souza, nice one-touch. And you see how play has improved dramatically for OCB since these Brazilians have come in. D'Souza and Seamus on that right side. Here's the restart from a few moments ago, and you see how quickly they started it back up. Referee points it, but then it was Vignals starting it up, and that goes up and over, and we're back live, and OCB back on it. That is Randy Mendoza out of California, 23 years old, one of the oldest players on this OCB team. Leo goes down the line. Osewusu, and he's got a couple of white kits around him. And OCB, the aggressors in this match, have the possession arrow, flipping it forward. D'Souza trying to connect on that pass from Seamus. Dribbles out of trouble, switches sides. Diouf brings it back for D'Souza. D'Souza thought he was going to go into the box. Lays off for Seamus, carrying it into the middle. Diouf sliding it forward, but right into the awaiting chest of Connor Antley. Antley sent it forward momentarily, and OCB back on it. Ablante sending it forward for Bagru. Bagru pulling up the brakes. He's got Wells on him for Williams. Now Diouf. Williams centers. And D'Souza couldn't get the left foot on there, and Seamus comes over and makes sure that OCB stays on it. Casually lays it forward for Osewusu. Seamus looking for some space. D'Souza. Most concentrated effort by OCB as that ball will be tracked down by Phelps. Phelps pushing D'Souza and letting it go past the goal line so that Jara can kick it away, but very impressive ball movement and a great possession by Orlando City. They just couldn't challenge that man right there, Pablo Jara. And Jara will right foot this one out of play. Randy Mendoza will track it down for Williams. Seamus, Simeon with a strong right foot, 50-50. And that goes over the head of both Wells and Tablante. Antley will go all the way back to his keeper. And Dennis now on the ball, switching sides and pushing D'Souza. Over the top foot race. And the OCB keeper puts it out of play. Tormenta in the 26th minute will throw it in. Morrell. And the boys from Georgia will retreat. Phelps in his third year with Tormenta, sending it forward. Foot race down the sideline. Antley unable to track it down. Sade will kick this one away. And we're started back up. As soon as the Brazilian sends it forward. Referee not happy with that, so we'll do it again. Here in the 27th minute. Julinho will send everybody forward. Right foot high in the air. Past the circle. Diouf was waiting on it, and that was stolen away by Morrell. And Tormenta, with that three-man back line, will build from the back. Dennis now on the left. Coutinho for Micheletto. Now sending it into the box. Coutinho. Dennis almost tripped on the ball. He gets it back. Left foot into the center. Flag is up. Opportunity over for Tormenta. And OCB with a very familiar start. First two games, they played well in the first half. Be great for OCB to get to the second half and play at equal strength. In the first two games of the season, they found themselves playing down a man for the entire second half. And OCB will play catch on that back line. Osei Wusu doing the dance. And there's Amir playing catch with Mendoza. Now coming forward is Simeon, his third start of the season, and Seamus just took one to the face. And that's a yellow card to Dennis. And Seamus holding his head and checking on the boot. We get another look right there, that elbow.
Ladies and gentlemen, another card has been issued to Tormenta number 11, Charlie Dennis, in the 29th minute.
29th minute, yellow card to Charlie Dennis out of Palm Beach, Atlantic. Played 8 years with Southampton. So a lot of experience in that footballer's body. As we approach the 30th minute, hearing that there's going to be a water break here as they're attending to Seamus. So Tormenta will come over and have a conversation with their coach. And a couple of folks made the trip from Statesboro down here to this beautiful Mount Verde Academy campus. And with this 5 p.m. start, you're going to be able to see that lake in the background throughout this match. And Leo Seamus, in his first action of 2019, is thumbs up. He'll be checking back in basically right after Thiago D'Souza gets us started here in the 30th minute. And OCB, who have possessed the ball for the majority of the first 30 minutes, they just haven't been able to tape their rips at Hara. Sade out for Mendoza. Amir back to his keeper, who slides it for the Mount Verde resident. And here's the Souza. Mendoza. Williams. He'll turn on it. Send it down the line. DeBlante sending McGrew, and just too heavy for McGrew. But McGrew liked the idea. Hara looking to highlight it out. And instead, he'll punt it away with that right foot. 50-50 is won by OCB. And Diouf was trying to battle with Micheletto. Micheletto gets it back. Dennis staying on that left. Micheletto sending it into the box, and that will be an easy save for the Brazilian. 3 games, 3 keepers for OCB. And this one is 6'2", at 165, 21 years old. And he'll take his time. Sliding it for Osewusu. And Kobe was very much out of where he normally is on the pitch. Seamus, 2 white kids around him. Not afraid to turn around on it. Thought that one was going to go out of play, and Dennis jumped up there. Here's Morel and Dennis. And that flag is up before that ball finds the side of the net. And that opportunity is over for Tormenta. And that could have been a little dangerous, as there was a little too much on it. And OCB needs to clear it. D'Souza turning on it. Seamus is running with him down the line, intended for Osewusu. But Dennis is there. Micheletto. Vignals. Dennis. Eckenrode. Now Connor Antley turns on it. For Wells. Good one-touch passing by Tormenta. Micheletto for Phelps. Dennis. Eckenrode taking his time, the captain. And now Phelps in his 3rd year with Tormenta, sliding it forward. Coutinho. And that flag is up. Opportunity over here in the 34th minute. OCB starting this match the way they've started the last 2 on the season, going step for step with a much older, more experienced club. Defense has gotten stronger on that back line of Williams, Mendoza, Simeon, and Seamus. And the only man who was on that back line a week ago for OCB was Nathan Simeon. And here's Morel trying to bring it down the pitch, and Simeon was able to punch it away. Mendoza, Williams, and the Tennessee native will carry it forward. Mendoza switching sides for Seamus, gathers it in. And Diouf battling Gomez. Oh, and Dennis, who's already sitting on a yellow card, taking a swipe at D'Souza. Play continues, but that could have been a 2nd yellow. What a slide tackle by Seamus. And the 21-year-old sending it down the line. Foot race, Bagru and Phelps. And Phelps was able to pull up the brakes and keep it from getting to William Bagru. Bagru was drafted by Sporting KC, 22 years old, grew up in Utah. Antley will go back to Hara and make him chase for Phelps as we enter the 36th minute. D'Souza keeping him honest. Phelps down the line, but Amir is there. Amir turning on it for Osewusu. Osewusu with some space, turning on it. Takes his shot from distance, makes Hara dump right to the ground. We're going to take another look at Dennis and D'Souza. The pass is forward, and Dennis, very lucky that he wasn't shown to the showers. And there is Charlie Dennis. Morrell now on the left, carrying it into the middle. Cleared out momentarily. Dennis is on it. Flips it into the box, and snatching it out of the air is the Brazilian, Diouf. He'll move on it quickly, lay off for Williams. And Wilfred will play catch with Diouf. A little bit of pressure, so a tease has to go over to the near side. D'Souza and Simas, the two Brazilians playing catch, and Simas will tie his shoes. Maybe we need to get him Velcro. And Nathan over for Randy. And Mendoza will carry it forward. Diouf sent it down the line to Blante on it into the 18. Well defended. Diouf takes the shot. Hara has to dive once again, and the efforts and the buildup by OCB, getting stronger, getting faster, trying to take advantage of some open space, and Hara will kick this one away, and you see Tablante laying off for Diouf. Diouf going near post, and Hara jumps on it. Morrell for Dennis. Simas in front of him. He'll go backwards. Michelito, Osewusu on him. And you see Morrell at the elbow. Give and go, and Tormenta shot is knocked away. Sade picks it up, 38th minute, and we are scoreless. The Brazilian influence on this game is strong. We did see one substitution in the 18th minute as Serginho, who has played all three games, started all three games for OCB, went out for injury, and Austin Amir out of Tampa replaced him. And Tormenta will have to retreat. Stolen away by Amir. Now Simas chipping it down the line, and Bagru will chase it down. Bagru being held up momentarily by Antley now on the right. Bagru into the corner. Bagru getting pushed from behind, now double teamed. And flag goes the other way. Gives me an opportunity to tell you to Select is the official ball supplier of the USL League One and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. So Hara will start us back up here in the 40th minute. And the referee, Madzid Korik, trying to tell Jar to hurry up, and if he's not careful, He's going to go into the book, and now the ball being sent farther back. The flag was shown right in front of the corner. And now Hara high in the air into the middle of the pitch. And Dennis and D'Souza getting tangled up, and that's been a matchup we have seen throughout the first 40 minutes. And the whistle went against D'Souza. So Phelps, Eckenrode, and they'll take their time and play catch. Taking their time. Tormenta feeling the pressure from the boys in purple. Phelps into a teammate's back, out of play, throw in coming up in the 41st minute, right in front of the Tormenta bench. And Seamus, one of the newcomers to OCB, will do the honors. We'll go back for Simeon, one of the veterans now on this club, as he has started all 3 games for OCB. Jade for Simeon, an 18-year-old native from here in Mount Verde. Seamus getting his pocket pick, but there's a takedown on Osewusu, and a late whistle will stop play, and it goes the other way. And Osewusu slow to get up, pulling up the socks, but the ball stays with Tormenta. The men in the white kits with the ibis on their shield are now on the ball. Gomez, Vignals, Phelps, Coutinho bringing it forward for Dennis. D'Souza comes up, puts a body on Dennis, shuts down that opportunity for Tormenta. And OCB, they've had the possession, they've had the physicality, they have moved the ball well, and they have gone toe-to-toe with the team on top of the League One table. And Nathan will give chase. Juliano. Strong right foot. High in the air. Antley. Eckenrode. Here's Antley sliding it forward. Micheletto is there. Now Morel into the 18 with a full head of steam. Stopped by Mendoza. Vignals just outside of the 18. Well defended by Mendoza. Can't really go anyplace. Chips it in. And that is going to be cleared out of play. And OCB will kick this one away in the 44th minute, as OCB has put in their best 45 of this young season, and we are scoreless. If OCB can complete this game with 90 minutes of play for OCB at full strength, would be a first on 2019. As you see, Coutinho slow to get up. And he'll exit the pitch momentarily, escorted by referee Korick, who's checking his watch as we get close to the 45th minute of action here in Mount Verde Academy, just outside of Orlando. Beautiful, scenic place to play some football. Lake just beyond the pitch. You see it right there. With the bleachers right below our cameras. So the Brazilian, in his first start of 2019, will kick it away as soon as he gets the whistle and the clearance to be able to do so. Strong right foot for the young Brazilian. But he doesn't use it. Now Mendoza just playing catch. And the Brazilian taking his time. Another Brazilian comes over to help out. Morel is there to pester just a bit. We're going to have 4 minutes of added time for your viewing pleasure as Tablante gets his pocket picked just momentarily as Wells put it out of play. And so Williams should be coming up to take care of this throw. And he does. For Diouf. Diouf going backwards. Simeon. And here's Seamus. Left foot forward. Tablante was the intended target. Too heavy for him as Wells ushered it out. And Hara will kick it away. 1 minute into those 4 minutes of extra time. That's a strong right foot. 50-50 down the line. And Mendoza was able to get there. Williams. Diouf. Now he gets it back from Mendoza. The man from Senegal. Sending it forward for De Souza. Seamus. De Souza gets it back. And Phelps puts it out of play. De Souza. Osewusu, the captain this afternoon for OCB. Turning around on it, now bringing it forward. White kits around him. Bagru can't find the ball. Out for De Souza. 2 defenders, so he goes over for Seamus. Seamus will track it down. He's got Dennis on him. Dennis knocks it away for De Souza. De Souza carrying it into the middle. Diouf gets his pocket picked. That's going to be sent down the line and out of play off the foot of Morel. And OCB halfway into the added time will throw it in. And Seamus will tie his shoes once again. So the 21-year-old Brazilian going to check into Velcro when he goes to the locker room. Down the line for De Souza. De Souza. Seamus. Seamus is ridden off the ball. And that goes out of play. As we're approaching the last minute of added time, and Phelps holding his back a little bit. He'll throw this one in. 6'4", 195 in his third year, and he is in pain. Could be a cramp. Could have just been a knock. De Souza puts his body on it. And Morel is unable to control it. It does go out of play, and it will stay with Tormenta. So this team from South Georgia, from Statesboro, Georgia. Dennis will throw it in. Back for Phelps. Phelps, who was the captain of this Tormenta team in 2017 and 2018. Morel is there, but that's going to do it for the first half. 45 minutes plus 4. We are scoreless on the campus of Mount Verde Academy. Solid performance by OCB and Tormenta. So we're going to jump out, take a break. Halftime coming up. 0-0 after 45 plus 4. Welcome back. Halftime at Mount Verde Academy, OCB and Tormenta. And just this week it was announced U.S. Open Cup play begins May 7th. Actually, first round will be May 7th and 8th. 6 USL League One teams will be joining the party. One of the best tournaments in all the world to find out who is the best team on the pitch in America. And this tournament is all about the upsets. It's about David versus Goliath. It is about what happens on the pitch, and when you lace them up, you never know what is going to happen. And for League One teams to be involved, it is going to be absolutely fantastic. 2 of the teams actually will face off in the tournament in the first round. That should make things very, very interesting. So League One teams will be in this tournament. USL Championship teams will be in this tournament. And eventually MLS teams will be in this tournament. And you see what the first round looks like. Richmond Kickers against Virginia United. Chattanooga and this Tormenta team. And then Madison. And they'll be playing that one on the 7th as well. So this is going to be a lot of fun. You see Lansing playing Ann Arbor and Tormenta and Greenville. Those are the 2 teams from League One that will be playing. And you see those 2 graphics side by side. If you have never watched the U.S. Open Cup, great news. All matches on ESPN Plus, all tournament long. Time for us to take a look at the best plays from a week ago, not only in League One action, but championship as well. Check them out.
And Jameson's going to get to the ball off the giveaway, and Bradford Jameson's got the first goal, and San Antonio FC is on the board.
On his way. Here's Ryan Sierakowski in the penalty area. Sierakowski!
Oh! Weaving it forward. Oh, look, got a piece of that to Rob Dos Santos.
Plata, he'll take a shot, and a goal! Joao Plata!
Leo's ball, nice curl, this time headed for the goal!
This afternoon's match, a good ball into Lewis. What a strike! Zico Lewis.
Nice 1-2 there.
Here comes that scissors kick, and Isaac was alive to it.
Long range shot, curling, and it's in the back of the net.
And it's going to be Lewis. He just takes the strike. And Brandon Miller manages to get just a hair on it.
Austin Cole strikes first. Good ball in, John diving header.
He's going to give it a crack, deflected away by
Huntley lets it fly, and Juan punches it away.
and it is a goal.
Fleming's in for JJ.
Here's Micheletto. Sends over, beautiful curler. Marco Micheletto. To the right side of the box. Robinson comes back, looking for some help. Deflected there. Chance in front of goal. Stopped by Kirk.
Full head of steam. Perusa trying to chip the goalie, and that's exactly what happened.
Dennis. And that one off the crossbar, and Fitzgerald getting a piece of that.
Here's an opportunity. Syed buries it for the Red Wolves.
Advantage for the rest of this game. Endo going right at it, punched out by Herrera. Outstanding effort.
Cox runs over. Second chance. Vega there. Back of the net. Near post headed on into the back of the net.
Welcome back live. Finishing up halftime here at Mount Verde, scoreless between Tormenta and OCB. And we talked about it just a few minutes ago, U.S. Open Cup. Can't be more excited about that tournament if you've never checked it out. Make your plans starting on May 7th. The player of the week a week ago was a guy that's playing in this game today, Connor Antley. who had the assist on all three of Tormenta's goals for the week. And opening up the stadiums, Lansing and Tucson playing at home. And gotta dig that. And we're going to have a lot more fun here in League One action as the season continues. Take a look at the team of the week from a week ago. And three gentlemen in this game made that team of the week. Michelito and Dennis and Antley and Connor Tobin. You see that kit right there on that back line. Connor Tobin, the captain of Forward Madison, will be here in Mount Verde next week, Friday night. But we'll get to the upcoming schedule in a moment. We're going to take a look at what happened around the league last night. Lansing with a 3-1 win over Richmond at home. Triumph, one better than Chattanooga at home as well. And North Texas with a PK in stoppage time to edge Forward Madison, and FC Tucson and Toronto FC2 playing to a 1-1 draw. Next week's action starts up here in Mount Verde as the boys from Madison will come to town. They'll try to go full Mingo on the Lions, and then Greenville and Richmond will get tied up on Saturday. And at the same time, Chattanooga and this Tormenta team will battle. So we're going to take a break right here. When we come back on the other side, highlights and stats, and then we're going to start it up and see if the Baby Lions can play at full strength for 45 minutes for the first time in the second half of a 2019 game. Don't go away. You're watching USL League One action on ESPN+. Welcome back to the campus of Mount Verde Academy, the home of OCB, who played 45 plus 4 minutes of scoreless soccer with Tormenta. Opportunity for us to take a look at the highlights from the first half of action. No scoring, as you know, but there was plenty of action early on. Ball going over the top, and Coutinho battling, taking it inside the 18, laying off for Morel. Morel blasting his way through. That left-footed effort is stopped by the new keeper for OCB. And you see it once again, just not a lot on that left-footed effort by Alex Morel. Coming around the other side, here's Williams sending it forward. And the keeper, Hara, gets there first. But a lot of good push by OCB, making that man work in the first half. Another opportunity for Tormenta, and there is a foul on Michelito, but instead of setting it up, they go quick, they start quick, and the opportunity is off the board quick. And you see exactly how the foul took place, and Tormenta missed the opportunity to get on the board. Here's Osei Wusu carrying it forward. He takes the shot from distance, makes Hara work a little bit. Not a lot on that shot, but nonetheless, Pablo Jara had to dive. Down the line, OCB trying to mount the attack. Here's Tablante. Into the 18, lays off for Diouf. Diouf making Jara jump, this time to the other side. You see it from another angle, and the result is exactly the same. Take a look at the stats for the first half. 3-3 on the shots, 2-1 on target. The possession is the thing that really jumps out at me. OCB really hanging on to the ball in good possessions. Only caught offside one time versus Tormenta's 3. 2 yellow cards handed out in the first half to Tormenta. The first one went to the captain, Eckenrode, in the 2nd minute, and then Charlie Dennis picked one up in the 29th minute. That should really be a good sign for OCB in the second half, is Eckenrode and Dennis, who have been very active throughout the first half, are going to have to temper themselves on how aggressive they can play. The new Brazilians for OCB have really contributed to the success that they've had on the build-ups. Simas and De Souza on that right side. The only thing that didn't quite go OCB's way is an injury to the 19-year-old Brazilian, Serginho. He had to check out in the 18th minute for Austin Amir. And so you are completely up to date, just in case you have joined us late here on ESPN+. I'm Bruce Silverman, voice of Orlando City B. And last night, the big club was on the road in Utah, a 2-1 defeat to Real Salt Lake. And they will be home next week, 3 p.m. at City Stadium, taking on the Vancouver Whitecaps. 45 minutes of action coming up next for OCB. OCB has played their first 2 games down a man in the second half, so already a good start to this game as they will play at full strength for the start of the second half. And you look at Thiago De Souza, the 20-year-old Brazilian, who has really led the charge along with Leo Simas down that right side. So we'll be switching sides in the first half. The boys in purple were going from left to right on your screen. Now they will go from right to left, and the visitors in the white kits will switch sides, and they will go towards the right goal. As you see this team, this young OCB team, feeling very good about the way that they played in the first half. Tormenta playing solid as well, more experienced. So Josh Phelps, who was banged up at the end of the first half, saw him holding his back, will check out of this game, and Saintville will come in for him to start the 46th minute. So 1 substitution each for both of these clubs, both of them because of injury. And so with Saintville coming in, it will be a different look than Orlando City has seen up until this point. So Jerry Saintville is in, 6'2", 183. Graduated from Palm Beach Atlantic, 2nd year with Tormenta. And as we've switched sides, an opportunity for Simas to go back to his keeper, as this OCB team has a very Brazilian flair. And Saintville played for a Haiti youth club, youth national club. Simeon for Simas, Osewusu, who started actually where De Souza is playing now. He's playing midfield and wearing the captain's badge this afternoon. And Mendoza was sending it forward for Bagru. Bagru needs to get a little bit more involved in the offense for OCB. Amir, who checked in the 18th minute, gets his first touches of the second half. Simas over the top, down the line, and that flag is up as William Begrew was more than a few steps offside. Hara for Eckenrode and Connor Antley. And Antley, last week's Player of the Week in League One action. Feeling the pressure of Tablante. Tablante putting a foot on it, and Antley gets it back. And so Tormenta will build from the back. As OCB pressures just a little bit. OCB has not led in a game in 2019. Maybe in this second half, that may change as Tablante is tangled up and an injured player down for Tormenta. And he'll be attended to here in the 48th minute. Michelito was the man that was down, and Tablante will have a conversation with Koric.
I can't trust this guy. Yeah, you're so right.
So the yellow card is handed out to Moises Tablante, the 17-year-old out of Venezuela. And you see the reason why. And that came in the 48th minute officially. Michelita has to go backwards for Antley. Eckenrode. And St. Ville gets his first touch. Dennis. He'll go back. St. Ville and Dennis playing catch. Gomez. And just enough pressure by OCB to send it back to Hara. And Pablo will survey his options and take his time. Right foot high in the air. And Dennis trying to run around Seamus, and he does. Coutinho, and he'll throw it in for Morel. Dennis using that big body to shield the defense. Williams prevents the shot from getting anywhere near his Brazilian keeper. And Morel can't keep it in play. So in the 50th minute, Leo Seamus will come over and throw it in his first start, first action of 2019 for OCB. Long distance throw. St. Ville climbing the ladder. Fouls William Begrew, so OCB will start us up here, that spot. Seamus going backwards. Simeon. Sade. Ball goes out of play, and OCB is going to make a substitution here, and they'll get it in before Mbuyu will come in for Tablante. So Moises' night is over. Mbuyu checks in the 51st minute. So now two substitutions for OCB. One for Tormenta. Osewusu sending it forward. Knocked away momentarily. D'Souza gets his pocket picked. Ball goes out of play off the feet of St. Ville. And so Jerry basically picking up where Josh Phelps left off. Simeon. Now here's Mendoza and his keeper playing catch. Morel will pressure. Seamus chipping down the line, looking for D'Souza, who corrals it in for Osewusu. Seamus comes over to help out. Pulls up the brakes, well defended. Has to go backwards. Osewusu. Kobe switching sides. Mabuyu unable to stay on side. As you see, the AR flashed his flag. Hara out for Jerry Saintville. Slides it down the line. Dennis, Coutinho. Coutinho dancing around. Coutinho getting it back, sliding it forward for Dennis. Dennis will center, and it's covered up by Chade. Rolls it over to the Mount Verde resident. Seamus carrying it forward. Morel on him. Tangled up with Dennis. Here comes Tormenta. Antley blasting his way through. Picks up the loose ball, sends it back for Wells. Wells, one of those forwards who really hasn't been getting forward as of late. Third year with Tormenta. Gomez down the line. Intercepted by Osewusu. Into the circle, sending it forward. Mimbuyu dancing around with Antley. Can't get there, and Antley gets it out of trouble to Wells. Coutinho gets his pocket picked. Amir out for Seamus. Attack is starting. Amir. Seamus, not a lot on that pass, and Diouf is taken down from behind by Coutinho. And now Thiago D'Souza will tie his shoes. And here's the last shot by Tormenta. Coutinho. Dennis centers. And that just didn't get there, intended for Viñals. Here's Mendoza. Good ball movement. And another flag is up. And Williams isn't sure how he was offside on that one. Orlando Health is proud to be the official medical team of Orlando City Soccer Club from orthopedics and sports medicine. We'll get to that in a second. Coutinho. Big save by the Brazilian, kick save. As Michelito was trying to find the back of the net. And the 21-year-old Brazilian will give Tormenta a corner. Coutinho will take it. But you see this from a different angle. But he just got that big left foot out there and stopped it. So the corner coming up, and it looks like Dennis will take it. Coutinho will keep him company. And the issue is, will Dennis go short? And he does. Gets it back, then centers. High in the air and out of play. Now I get the opportunity to tell you that Orlando Health is proud to be the official medical team of Orlando City Soccer Club from orthopedics and sports medicine to virtually every medical specialty. Orlando Health has the physicians throughout Central Florida to provide the care you need when you need it. Choose Orlando Health. So now we'll do it on this side. Morel. And that's knocked away. And a yellow card coming up for Simeon. 57th minute. So now 2 yellows apiece. And That's actually Diouf and not Simeon.
Ladies and gentlemen, a yellow card has been issued to OCB number 21, Addis Diouf, in the 57th minute.
So Diouf in Mr. Corrick's book.
Ladies and gentlemen, substitution for
We're going to see another substitution here.
leading the game as number 8, Neil
Vinyals is out, and the substitute is Hellman. So Chris Hellman comes in the 57th minute. Coutinho as Tormenta mounting their attack into the box and into the awaiting hands of Sade. Here's Williams. Down the line. Mbuyu. And he gives it away. And we're foul was called. And the game getting slightly out of hand at the moment. Hara, right foot, down the pitch. Williams corrals it in for Mendoza. Amir over the top, foot race. D'Souza into the box. Bagru. That's in the back of the net. How about that? And Orlando City B leads for the first time in 2019 on the attack. Diouf. You gotta love it. Diouf in the 57th minute got the yellow card. In the 59th minute, he gives OCB their first lead of 2019. And it all started with D'Souza, with the Jets. Bagru staying on the ball, lays off for Diouf. Diouf back in the net. 1-0, Orlando City B. So Tormenta coming into this game top of the league table, now trailed by a goal by the team that was bottom of the table coming in. And how often does that happen? When the top team and the bottom team do battle, and sometimes the bottom of the table get the better of the top. And OCB, who in their first two games of 2019 played the entire second half down a man, now at equal strength and leading by a goal. And that was Diouf's first of the year. Mendoza, the Brazilian keeper in his first start, pitching the shutout so far. 3 games, 3 keepers for OCB. Seamus getting his first playing time of the year, going over the top. Mbuyu trying to get around on it, but that ball is ushered over to Hara. Now Wells sending it down the line. Morel, nice pass inside. Now Wells on the wing, gives it up. Osewusu can't keep it at his feet. Ball will stay with Tormenta here in the 61st minute. Wells will do the honors. Throws it into the middle. And here comes OCB, showing a little bit more speed than they did a week ago. D'Souza overran it. Here's Dennis. Dennis trying to chip the keeper, and it goes past the line. And Sade will kick this one away, and Dennis had the opportunity, tried to chip the 21-year-old keeper, Dennis, with all of that experience at 6'2", 190, 8 years he played at Southampton out of Palm Beach, Atlantic. And you get to see that other look. Left foot, and he just couldn't put it on frame. Diouf. And a whistle was called. It will belong to Orlando City B when it eventually gets back to where the foul occurred. And here comes OCB, 62nd minute, just at the close of the 62nd minute. Seamus flagged down, sending it into the middle, nobody home. Gomez will carry it forward. He'll right foot it down. 50-50 between the 14s. That's been a great battle all game long between Alex Morel and Randy Mendoza. And Mendoza back to his Brazilian keeper. Mendoza, 23 years old, out of Santa Paula, California. Oldest player on this OCB team. 50-50. And that will go out of play. It'll stay. Everyone in the building thought it was staying with OCB, but the flag goes to Tormenta. You get a look at the manager, Fernando. His very young baby Lions leading this game, getting a 59th minute goal by Diouf. And it was a beauty. And Mbuyu playing some defense, making Connor Antley work hard to clear it out. Ball will go back in towards the 18. And we got a extremely dangerous set piece coming up. And if that was about 1 foot to the left, Bagru would have earned OCB a trip to the spot. Instead, the Barbasol will go down 1 foot outside of the 18. Bagru and D'Souza credited with the assists. So now this set piece opportunity, and you've got the left foot of D'Souza and the right foot of Diouf. And there is a sliver to go right at the far post the way the wall is currently set up. And here's Diouf. Went right at it and went over it. Trying to go over the wall and get it to bend under the crossbar, and he went over the crossbar. 65th minute, OCB nursing the 1-0 lead. They've held the ball about 65% of the time. Been very organized, putting a lot of pressure on Tormenta. New keeper and a rebuilt right side leading the attack. And OCB dodging a bullet right there. Osiwusu and Osei switching sides. And here's another attack. D'Souza into the 18. But Hara was there first. But OCB looking very strong today in the way that they mount the attack, the way that they push forward, the way that they plow themselves towards the 18. And OCB not showing a lot of respect to a team top of the table as they put a lot of pressure on this much more experienced squad from South Georgia. That will stay in play. Morel, the former Tampa Bay Rowdy, sending it forward, but Williams put his head on it. Williams clears it just momentarily. Mbuyu, he'll carry it forward. He's got some running room. Slide tackle, all ball by Wells. Stops that opportunity by Orlando City. D'Souza pulls up the brakes to get around Dennis. Out for Seamus. Seamus will take his time. A lot of white kits in front of him, lays off. Kobe for Wilfred. Diouf. Pulled down from behind by Hellman, no whistle. Little give and go, and that hits that little dip in the pitch over there on that far side where the ball tends to go down a little bit because of that crown, and ball dribbles out of play and the opportunity is over. And you see the fans that have come to check out this young club, and through the first 68 minutes, OCB with a 1-0 lead. 59th minute goal as Bagru and D'Souza teamed up, and D'Souza fed Diouf. Here's Diouf sending outside for D'Souza. Can they do it again? D'Souza trying to find Bagru that time, and it gets knocked away. St. Ville will play catch on the outside with Dennis, and that ball will go out of play. So we'll see which way this ball goes. And it will belong to OCB. Seamus will throw it in. Dennis steals it away, but gives it right up to Kobe. Now Leo. Leo will bring it forward. He's fouled by Gomez. And then by the time they take this one, it will be the 70th minute. And with 20 minutes to go, OCB looking for their first points of the 2019 campaign. Leo Seamus, one of the newcomers, 21 years old from Brazil, has looked very sharp from that right fullback position. Simeon switching sides for Wilfred Williams. And the Tennessee native, 22-year-old, dancing out of trouble. Mendoza back to his Brazilian keeper. Sade. Mendoza. Williams knocked away by Wells. And that's cleared out and out of play by the Brazilian keeper. Connor Antley starts us up for the captain. Etchen Road. St. Ville going back to Hara. And the keeper out of Wingate. Right foots it well down the pitch. Seamus puts his head on it. Hellman past the stripe. St. Ville for the captain. Now Antley into the middle. Amir was challenging, but Bagru right on Gomez, making sure his presence is felt. Gomez gets it back. A little bit of room, so he chips it forward. Hits Hellman in the back. Chris Hellman turns on it. Lays for Coutinho, who back heels. OCB waited on it, and that goes out of play. That could have been very, very dangerous, as OCB had an opportunity to clear it out of their zone, held up on it. Ball goes past the goal line. Chade will kick it away. Quick start up. And we're in the 72nd minute. Orlando City 1-0 over the visitors from South Georgia. St. Ville puts his head on it. It will belong to Orlando City. Orlando City playing full strength in the second half for the first time all season, and it suits them. All the way back to the Brazilian keeper. Here's Simeon and his keeper playing catch. Out for Mendoza. And OCB just nursing the clock, taking their time, building up from the back. Seamus chipping down the line for D'Souza. D'Souza pulled from behind by Jerry St. Ville at a UNC Pembroke. Check that. That was Josh Phelps, who played for UNC Pembroke. That's who St. Ville replaced. And D'Souza taken down as the game gets a little chippier as the clock continues to run. D'Souza will go backwards. Rain is starting to come down just a little bit. It rained pretty well about a half an hour, 45 minutes before kickoff. Field in great shape here at Mount Verde Academy. DeOof going over the top. And the flag is up as Kobe was too fast for the ball. Tormenta. And here comes Michelito. Michelito laying off. Hellman out for Dennis. Dennis in the 18. Hellman right into the awaiting hands of the Brazilian. Through 74 minutes, that man right there pitching a shutout. And if it holds up, it will be the first clean sheet for OCB. And if it holds up, it will be the first win for OCB. But before we start, we'll get a substitution as the wind is picking up here. So we'll wait on the substitution a moment as the beverages will come out onto the pitch. It is in the 80s here, high humidity in Central Florida. The wind really picking up, and we knew this was going to be a factor towards the end of the match. So the wind and the rain will be companions for both of these teams throughout the remaining 15 minutes. Rain before the match, now the wind picking up, rain picking up. And we'll see how that affects the footing and the ball handling of both of these clubs. Both teams with an opportunity to have a few conversations about the way that the last 15 minutes are going to go. And with the stoppage of play, we're also going to have a change in the decision by Fernando. So the substitution will be Steven Hernandez coming in for Wilfred Williams, and that's a defensive substitution. And that will be the third and final substitution for OCB on the afternoon, as Hernandez, who came in the first game of the year when Tresser Mbuyu was sent off with 2 yellow cards. So Hernandez getting some action here in the third, and you see the rain on the lenses. Hernandez, who started as the left fullback a week ago in a 2-0 loss to Toronto FC2, now in that same position. And that's Gomez, and picking up the loose ball is Amir, and you see the way the wind is playing havoc and the rain coming over the lake. And this is the way this game's going to end, with a lot of wind and a lot of rain. And you can hear it on our microphone that's on the pitch. And that's sent forward and out of play as the rain really picking up and the wind picking up. And you see the way paper is moving, and it's moving from left to right. So that should favor Tormenta in terms of the way the ball will move quickly towards the Orlando City goal. We're going to see how strong the Brazilian's leg is right now, kicking into gusts as high as 30 miles an hour. So that will belong to Orlando City. So Hernandez will throw it in. But you see how strong that wind is. Ball was pulling back as Antley put his head on it. And then here's Hellman out for Dennis. Dennis centering in, knocking it away. And OCB is going to have to fight the wind as well as Tormenta to hang on to this 1-0 lead as the ball just blowing from left to right. And Boyu trying to give chase, and that gives you a really good indication of how strong the rain is coming off of the lake. And you can see on the track on the far side where the ball is right now. Visibility is still there, but you got to question how much longer the visibility will be there for both of these teams as we approach the 79th minute of action in OCB with the 1-0 lead. And they would like nothing more than to hang on to this lead. Tormenta means storm in Spanish, so the boys from Statesboro, Georgia have brought it with them. Looked like it was a handball on Kobe and no whistle, so here we go as it gets darker here on the campus of Mount Verde Academy. And Boyu, and that flag is up, and you can't even see the houses across the lake now as the rain continues to pick up, and you hear it pelting the microphone on the field, and that ball goes well out of play off the foot of Diouf. Last sub of the game coming up is Charlie Dennis's day is over. Here in the 79th minute, unless he doesn't hurry, and then it will be in the 80th, and officially it will be in the 80th minute. As Mikey Rowe has come in. Rowe in the 80th for Dennis. Third season for Rowe with Tormenta, 5'10", 168. Played at Young Harris College and was the captain there. And Simeon going back to his keeper here in the 80th minute. And the Brazilian right foot, and Mbuyu couldn't keep it in play. Antley down the line, with a little benefit of the wind at his back, and Kobe picks up the loose ball. Keeps it in play, shoved to the ground by Hellman. Osewusu, the 23-year-old out of Bowie, Maryland, played a year ago for the Richmond Kickers, another one of those 23-year-olds, along with Randy Mendoza on this 2019 OCB team. All three Orlando City teams in action this weekend. The Pride playing right now found themselves down 1-0 at the half to Portland. And last night the big club was in Utah, a 2-1 defeat at the feet of Real Salt Lake. And the rain has let up, but the wind has not, as the action is fast and furious. And Mendoza sending it up the pitch for D'Souza. D'Souza tangled up with Hellman, but D'Souza with a full head of steam, running forward, getting past defenders, getting tripped up, trying to stay on it. And here's Mbuyu, and he felt the pressure. And the point goes to Pablo Jara as OCB sprinting down the pitch, but Mboyu just couldn't get the ball to his right foot. The ball went out of play. 50-50, won by Tormenta. Mendoza going back to his captain, 82nd minute. Tormenta trying to force everything towards that man right there who has been outstanding in his first start for the Young Lions. Ball high in the air, getting caught up in the air. Waiting on it was Mboyu.
Hey, give him the ball, give him that one. Referee, right there. Ref is just there.
And Kobe will come over and get it.
Hey, fella, referee. Hey.
So we got a throw-in coming up. It's just a matter of who will throw it in. And it looks like it will be Steven Hernandez, who has played in all 3 games for OCB. 2 substitutions and a start a week ago. And Hernandez got a foot on it before Tormenta turned it around momentarily. Simeon for Simas, who's been relatively quiet in the second half, sending it forward, knocked away. And now Hellman getting that loose ball. And that is kept in play and then sent out of play by Michelito, who had 4 goals a year ago. And now in the 83rd minute, Hernandez will throw it in. 84th minute. And a yellow card for the stall by Hernandez in the 84th minute. 3rd yellow card of the game against OCB. And Hernandez still looking for where he wants to go. Can treat this as a very good opportunity for OCB. And a set piece opportunity coming up from the angle as Mboyu was pulled down. So Orlando City B from the extreme angle with an opportunity to double their lead. And from this exact same spot a few weeks ago, Wayne Rooney went far post, kissed it off the post in a big win by DC United over Orlando City B at City Stadium. Let's see if magic can happen from the same spot twice, but it's treated completely different. But we'll try it again. D'Souza from the angle, going short. Diouf going to the corner. Holding it up. Earning the corner. And it will be Hernandez that will take this one. And it will be a throw, not a corner. Throws it in for Diouf. Diouf into the 18. Teed off on it. And that one is going to be wet. And the first ball of 2019 to end up in the lake. Looking for the latest USL League One news and content? Follow us at USL League One on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for exclusive access and updates. Hernandez throwing long distance into the awaiting head of Connor Antley. 86th minute, wind has died down, rain has stopped. And Orlando City B trying to figure out a way to run out the clock and get their first points of 2019. If the 1-0 lead stands up, it will be 3 points. If they give up a goal, it might be 1. William DeGrew getting tangled up. Hellman comes over, steals it away, hands it off to Morel. And here comes Tormenta. Coutinho. Michelito gets his pocket pick. D'Souza now on the left. D'Souza with a lot of running room. D'Souza pulling up the brakes. 87th minute. And that goes out of play off the body of Marco Michelito. And we've got an injured player down for OCB. So we know we're going to be tacking on some added time, and OCB is going to need some medical attention. I believe that is Diouf, the goal scorer. Both teams, physical game. And here's how the injury took place. Not even sure how the injury took place. So we missed the infraction. And Diouf comes off. And he'll come right back on. Diouf picked up a yellow card in the 57th minute, but got the goal on the 59th, and here in the 88th minute, OCB with the 1-0 lead over the team on the top of the table in League One action. Down the line, Mbuyu and Connor Antley. And Antley trying to find a way to turn, and Mbuyu putting a lot of pressure on him. Tormenta having to pull up the brakes. Gomez going backwards. Antley going down the pitch. Seamus ushers it to his keeper, who puts it out of play. 89th minute. Michelito throwing it in for St. Ville. Michelito, Gomez. Back to Michelito. Diouf. And Michelito needs to be careful. He'll get the conversation from Madzik, Korik. Thumbs up from Marco, and away we go. In the 90th minute. We will have added time. The question is, how much will we have? Gomez will start us up. Set piece opportunity. Into the box. Punched out by the Brazilian. Gomez puts his head on it. Michelito will dribble it. Mbuyu was putting pressure on. Now Bagru puts the pressure on. It'll belong to Orlando City B. And Orlando City B, minutes away from their first win of 2019, and what a quality performance it has been for the Young Lions. Eckenrode goes back to his keeper, and Pablo Jara will dance it out of trouble, right-footed down the pitch. We've got 5 minutes of added time for your viewing pleasure as Jara puts it out of play. And Orlando City B will look to run out the clock and get their first points of 2019. And that ball slips out of the hands of Seamus. Wet, and then slips out of the hands of Jerry St. Ville. Michelito giving it up for Diouf. Diouf, and he's got some reinforcements to the left and the right. Diouf was trying to dribble through trouble, and it gets picked off. Michelito sending it forward. Seamus whistle for the infraction, but the clock continues to run. Now 1 minute gone in those 5. Tormenta, led by Michelito, sent forward. Wells. Hellman defended, having to pull into the middle, sending it into the 18. Cleared out by OCB. And Cooley, they move it down the pitch. Foot race. Bagru couldn't get there before Antley. He had to make up some room and couldn't get there. Here's Tormenta with some running room. Michelito getting around. Michelito and Hellman playing catch. Gomez goes back to Michelito. Gomez surveying options, lays off. Now sent forward. Tormenta with their best mounted attack of the afternoon. Hellman feeling pressure, goes back into the circle. St. Ville now out of it. Morrell on the wing, carrying it towards the 18, into the 18. Fires the shot, knocked away. And Mbuyu. Wells put pressure on.
Oh, ref!
And the ball goes out of play. We're halfway through 5 minutes of added time. Ball will belong to Orlando City. So Hernandez will throw it in. He already has one yellow card for taking his time on the throw. He'll lay off for Kobe Osiwusu, sending it down the pitch. It will belong to Tormenta. And a yellow card is going to be handed out for Austin Amir here in the 94th minute. Corrick goes into his book 1, 2, 3, 4 times for Orlando City, twice for Tormenta. Everybody camping out outside of the 18 on Orlando City's side of the pitch. Ball sent towards the 18, punched out, goal is open. And we are tied at 1 apiece. Bagru is down, another player is down. A lot of bodies being thrown around as Eckenrode was down as well. Keeper came to punch it out, and that ball just basically ricocheted into the back of the net. We'll find out who it was credited to here in stoppage time. But Bagru is still down. Eckenrode is still down. And Juliano Sade, who has been outstanding all game long, made the judgment to come out and try to punch it out. And the ball ricocheted into the back of the net behind him. And we're tied at 1 apiece. But both players down. And that is not what you like to see after a very well-played game. You don't want to see any players down, and William Bagru with the head injury and the same type of injury to Lars Eckenrode in his second year for Tormenta, the captain this afternoon. We're going to take a look at this replay once again, as slow as we can get it. And you got Eckenrode, who tied up and basically tackled Bagru before the keeper was even there. And you got to wonder if this goal should even stand, because this is a foul right here on Eckenrode before the ball even gets to the keeper. So the ball goes off of Eckenrode's face. Eckenrode should have been whistled for the foul. Instead, the goal will stand up. But more concerning than the goal is the fact that William Bagru has a definite head injury right now, and they've got him turned over as a precaution, and you see Lars Echenrode and how dazed and confused he is, and very tense moments here as William Bagru is very, very injured and looks like he may be convulsing right now as they bring out the backboard. And this is not the way that you want to see a game end. William Bagru, who has been solid for OCB all season long, tackled by Lars Echenrode, who will get credited for the goal. But William, 22 years old, the Utah native, and it looks like they're going to pretty much bypass the backboard that would have carried him off the pitch. And now the EMTs are on the pitch. And this is difficult, folks. This is difficult for everybody associated with this game. It is difficult for the Orlando City B fans to look at William Bagru, who is so out of it right now. And I can tell you as a broadcaster, this is one of the most difficult parts of the job. When you see an injured player down with a major injury, and the clock doesn't even matter as we're in the 98th minute at this point, but a backboard being put down, and the players around knowing that their teammate is going to be carted off the pitch and be put into a neck brace. This was a major collision. William Bagru took it on both ends. He was tackled by Lars Echenrode, who was already sitting on a yellow card. And at the same time that he's tackled, Juliano Sade comes out to punch it away to prevent the goal by Tormenta, and he collides into Bagru. So Bagru gets it from both sides. Echenrode at 6 foot 180 on one side, and Sade at 165, 6'2" on the other. And William Bagru is still down. And it is very, very quiet here on the campus of Mount Verde Academy as multiple medical staff members attending to William Bagru. We're going to get to take another look, and you see slowing it down. The brunt force that William Bagru took. Bagru taking the knee from one side, the tackle from another. But that becomes the story of the match. Uncertain at this point as we're in the 100th minute how much time referee Korick is going to give after we start back up. But that time will be relatively meaningless with the injury to William Bagru, who had an assist today on that goal to Diouf. And it is a shame that there isn't VAR in this game, because if there was VAR, I believe that the goal would be coming off the board. Echenrode would probably be picking up a second yellow card. But the only concern in the building right now is the health and the welfare of William Bagru. 22-year-old out of Utah, drafted originally by Sporting KC. He played his college ball in Georgia at Mercer in Macon. And now strapped into the board with the neck brace. And you see Steven Hernandez is there, and Randy Mendoza is there, and Kobe, the captain, is there. Diouf is there, and Connor Antley is there as well. Multiple medical staff from OCB is there, and 2 EMTs as they raise up the gurney to carry him off. William Begrew took the brunt of a very violent play. And the fans who have stuck around through a torrential downpour and very high winds for about 5-10 minutes at this point, about 25 minutes ago. And William Begrew, as you see, the faces of the very young players of OCB, very concerned about their young teammate. We're getting word that there will be 2 minutes of play once we start up. Game is now 1-1. Two minutes of time. Whistle starts us up. And OCB will now play with a man down because they've already used up their 3 substitutions. And how cruel that goal becomes and that injury becomes as Tormenta going over the top. And you hear as the handball on Coutinho. And you heard from the sideline, 1.5 minutes, everything you've got, as we're now 104 minutes into this game. There was originally only 5 minutes of added time, but in that 5th minute, there was that horrific injury to William Begrew. Just getting word also that Eckenrode did not make it back on the pitch because of his head injury. 3 substitutions for Tormenta as well, so we are playing 10v10. And OCB will try to build from the back. Mendoza back to the keeper. And you hear patience coming from the sideline, and patience can go for both of these teams as points are on the line with about a minute or less to go. Diouf sending it down the line. Seamus couldn't handle it. It will stay with Orlando City as the ball went off of Rowe. Seamus will have the throw. Moments left in this game. 1-1 the score. Diouf got the goal in the 59th minute, and a 90+4 Eckenrode in a very violent play. And a goal that, in my opinion, should not be standing. And that's going to do it for the ball game after 105 minutes because of a major, major injury to William Begrew. 1-1 is your final here from Mount Verde Academy, as Orlando City was on the brink of getting their first win of the season, but how cruel this game can be. And the injury to William Begrew is something that we'll have to keep our eye on, as Orlando City B will now turn their attention to a match against the Flamingos of Madison, Wisconsin. But this game, which had violent wind and violent rain, had a violent ending and ends at 1-1. Let's do highlights before we let you go. And the rain started about 45 minutes before kickoff, led to very beautiful skies that led to some beautiful football throughout the course of the first half into the second half. And we start with the first half of action here in this League One matchup that ended 1-1 between Orlando City B and Tormenta FC. Early on, Tormenta trying to build from the back as they battled their way in. Coutinho, and then Morel Weak left foot, and that's stopped by the young keeper, Sade, in his first start of 2019. OCB starting 3 keepers in 3 games here in 2019. And then here's OCB early on. Kobe, long distance shot, makes Hara dive. And Kobe, well done as the captain today for OCB. Another opportunity. Tablante carrying it into the 18. And that shot by Diouf is stopped. But Diouf would break through in a little bit, as you see from the ground level. Diouf left foot, but stopped by Hara. And then here we are in the second half. Dennis into the 18 and into the awaiting hands of the young Brazilian. Amir over the top. Here comes D'Souza. D'Souza into the box. Over for Bagru. Bagru stays on his feet. Diouf back of the net. 1-0, 59th minute. Things going OCB's way. And they nursed that 1-0 lead for a very long time. Dennis carrying it forward, picking up a loose ball. Tries to chip the keeper. It goes wide. You get another look from the floor. And that left foot was off target. Here is how things got ugly. That last play of the game, more or less. When we take a look at the stats, possession still belonged to OCB. 8 shots to 11 for Tormenta. Tormenta was on target 6 times. Offside, OCB was caught. Yellow cards, 4-2. The only thing that ever really matters is the top line, and that was 1-1. But for OCB, their first points of 2019 would be cause for celebration. But instead, this game is a cause for concern in the health of William Bagru. 1-1 is your final from Mount Verde Academy, OCB and Tormenta. Thanks for being with us here on ESPN Plus. I'm Bruce Silverman. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next week when Madison comes to town.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.